So now that the season's upon us, December's here, and it's time to wrap it up. I can't believe 2024. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I get confused with the years. A whole 12 months passes, and for some reason, I still always either say 2023, 2024. I lose track of the years. I don't know if that's normal, but whatever, that happens to me. So we're in 2024. Now we have to think about how 2025 is going to look. I thought it was really cool. I was looking at some of the affirmations that I had made last year that I forgot about. And this year, I just looked at them now, and a lot of them came true. And it's crazy because I feel like I didn't accomplish that much. I mean, I thought I had an amazing year, but I didn't think that was part of my goal. I think it just happens. And I think a lot of us go through that, where you kind of go year by year and you don't realize everything that you've accomplished up until now. And you just focus on the future. Again, what's going to happen next year? What's going to happen next year? But you don't take the time to actually reflect on everything you did and accomplished this past year. As you start wrapping up this year, before you plan your New Year's goals, your New Year's resolution, reflect on what you did this entire year. Go back to your phone, pull up January pictures, go to your calendar, pull up your calendar because we forget. And look at all the things that you did. Business-wise, family-wise, social-wise, travel-wise, money-wise, like so many different domains in your life that you probably improved. And it might have been so subtle you didn't even notice. But they're big deals. And if you did a New Year's resolution last year, look at it and compare it and see, okay, did you accomplish your goals? So that's the first thing I would do. If I were you, I think it's always an incredible moment to feel accomplished and gratitude for everything that happened to you this year. And if you didn't accomplish your goals, write a list of all the things you're grateful that happened this year. And if you can't think that far back, again, look at your phone, look at your calendar. And if that doesn't work, just focus on this week. And if you can't remember this week, just think about today. So there's no excuse, okay? Bad memory, good memory, you can come up with something that you are grateful for. And it could be as simple as I slept good last night. I had my favorite cup of coffee. I was able to shower on my own. I don't need help to shower. That's a blessing. You might not think about it if you're in your 20s, 30s, and you're young, but there are older people that can no longer shower on their own. I know that's a really random fact, but I'm just saying there's little things you can be grateful for that you might not consider that you're, lucky. But showering on your own is pretty lucky. So as you're putting together your gratitude, your list of gratitude items, then it's time for your New Year's resolution. Now, you hear about all these New Year's resolutions that end up being a flop. Maybe you have put yourself New Year's resolutions that have ended up becoming epic fails for you. And you might be wondering why. Why didn't you stick it through? Why didn't you accomplish that New Year's resolution of losing 20 pounds? Or why didn't you accomplish that New Year's resolution of not eating sugar? Or of, committing to once a month doing a date night or hanging out with your friends or working on a passion project you had? And I have a couple of theories or potential reasons. Some of them are my own personal experience and others are what I've observed in other people. The big thing is I think we set our goals too much, too fast. We try to do too much in a very fast period of time. You want to go from 0 to 100 in record speed. And honestly, it's a very hard thing to do if you haven't built the attributes or qualities to do that. So instead of trying to develop a skill or a new habit, consider working on further developing your attributes that are going to help accomplish your goals. So what do I mean by that? Your perseverance, for example. Perseverance is an attribute. What does perseverance mean? It means that you keep going despite the blockages, despite the setbacks. You keep pushing through. So if you set yourself to go to the gym to lose 30 pounds, and you said you were going to go every day, and one day you had a headache, you didn't go. The next day you had a work meeting, you couldn't go. And then that's it. For you, you failed because you stopped going every day. So then you just quit. And that's it. That is your perseverance working against you. If you had a stronger perseverance, you would pick back up and continue going and continue going. That is one of those qualities that is extremely admirable and is what keeps you pushing through despite any challenges, and is helpful in life for everything, not just losing weight. For perseverance to work with you, my recommendation is if you set yourself a goal, make it in baby steps, in micro doses, okay? So if you want to lose 30 pounds, instead of trying to go from 0 to 100 and say you went from never going to the gym to all of a sudden going to the gym every day, consider going to the gym once a week for the next 3 weeks. See how that goes. If you go more, amazing. But at least you accomplished your goal of once a week. Then after the 3rd week, say you're going to go twice a week. And go twice a week. Then after the next 3 weeks, say you're going to go 3 times a week. And increment slowly so that it's actually attainable. I think many times we set ourselves with these unrealistic goals and expectations, and then we don't reach them, and then we just drop out and say, forget it. And that's because you were being unrealistic about it. You thought that your perseverance and your resilience levels were like at an all-time high and you can totally do it and push through and trek through. But forming a new lifestyle, forming a new habit takes a lot of discipline, a lot of energy, which brings me to my next quality, which is discipline. Discipline is one of those attributes that you absolutely need to develop. My discipline is not that great. And how I've been able to develop my discipline little by little is by, again, baby steps. One of the biggest things I'm most proud of in the past maybe 5 years is working on being on time. So I'm a Latina that swore on Cuban time. And for those of you that don't know Cuban time, is that let's say someone invites you to a party or dinner at 8, you get there at 10 because that's just how it is. And after a while, I noticed every time I would get to the dinner or the event or whatever, I'd always be so upset at myself of why I took so long. And when I learned that I needed discipline and I needed to set myself alarms in order to know when I needed to be home, when I needed to get ready, how long it took for me to get ready, how long it takes for me to get there, and set all these timers ahead of time so that I can plan for it, then I started to make things on time. So it started off getting there an hour later instead of 2 hours later, then half an hour later, then 15 minutes later, then 5 minutes later, and then on time. And it's not to say that I don't show up still to certain events like today to film. I showed up 5 minutes later. To me, that sucked, but it's way better than what I would have done before, where I would have, texted someone and been like, hey, I'm running late, and then showed up 30 minutes late. I also think about it. A friend of mine gave me a perspective once that she said, being late is, to me, a sign of disrespect to the other person, is a lack of consideration of their time. And I had never thought about it like that. And when they brought that to my awareness, I was like, wow, that's so true. So I would never want anyone to feel like I am not considering or appreciating their time or energy to be with me or spend the time with me. So I make a really great effort. And that's the discipline that I've been able to work on that has made a very big difference in my life. So I would tell you, if there's a goal that you have, right? Like, let's come back to the weight loss, because I feel like everybody always has this weight loss thing. If you want to do this, right? You want to lose 30 pounds, whether that's through diet, workout, or a combination of the two. Another thing that you can work on is your consistency. Take the moment to think about what you need to do and make a schedule for yourself so you can take those moments out. For example, if you need to work out, so the way that I remember how I told you, I would put an alarm, or I would put a block of time in my calendar of the time I needed to get ready and the time I needed to drive to the event. For you, it can be block out the day of the week that you're going to work out. And that's it. You take that as if you're meeting a client. You take that as something sacred and you go and you do it. If you don't put it on your calendar, you don't do it. That's another little lesson that I learned. I don't put it there. I don't do it. I also put time in blocks on my calendar for things that I want to do that don't require me meeting with someone. If it's just reading, researching, I literally block that time out. I call it my focus time, where I just take the time to research and read whatever I need to read to to accomplish the goals I want to accomplish. That's how you can help yourself with the discipline, right? And the perseverance is knowing that and accepting that maybe not every day you might commit to that, but that doesn't mean you have to stop it. You just get back and you continue going. You get back on the wagon and you keep going and you keep going. And then each time you just get better and better. So those are a couple of things. Another attribute that I would say would be very beneficial when you're creating your New Year's resolution is consistency. Right? Being consistent is one of the greatest qualities I admire in a lot of people. That's another trait that I lack in. I was just telling this to a friend of mine. I need to feel accountable. I need to feel held accountable in order for me to be consistent, because to me, it means the stakes are higher. I need more pressure. I need pressure to perform, to create, right? And so maybe that's something that you can do, right? And so for me, who holds me accountable are my clients. When I have a client and I have a deadline, I need to deliver, right? Under any circumstance, I need to deliver. So that is an amazing opportunity for me to stick through something and be consistent. If I don't have the pressure, right? And it's just me making, doing something. For example, my website. I took forever to create my website. Why? Because nobody's holding me accountable for my website. It's just my website. For me. It's for me. Now, of course, clients can read on your website. It's a great resume on a website. It's, it has all those things, but it took me a very, very long time. And it wasn't until I was trying to upload a job posting for someone that I want for a position I'm looking to hire for that required me to put my website. And so I said, oh gosh, I guess I have to make a website in less than 24 hours, which I ended up doing. And then now I have a website. And now I'm still I'm obsessed with it. And I get to develop these little things and add each little thing. And I'm really excited about it. But again, it took for that to happen. So you might want to find something or someone that can hold you accountable so you can stay consistent if that's something you deal with like I do. Another attribute or quality that I think is extremely necessary for the new year for accomplishing your goals is tenacity. So what do I mean by tenacity? It's when things are not working out the way you thought, and so you collect new data and acquire new knowledge to change it and continue going. I personally know people that when things are not working out, they just drop it. Then that's it. There's no other remedy. There's no other solution. They just drop it. They don't try anything new. And I want to say that's happened to me in the past many times, but I can't think of an example right now. But an example that I also think about with this, and let's come back to the hot topic, is the working out. Lots of people think that, why do I keep saying lots of people? Everybody has their own way of thinking about that. That's me jumping to conclusions. I'm not going to jump to conclusions. I'm just going to say, some people might think that working out consists of going to the gym and doing weights or doing classes or running or playing sports. There's a million different ways to work out. For me, it's dancing, like doing dance classes, aerobics, and rollerblading, and riding bike outside. I don't like riding bike on stationary bikes. And for other people, it's spinning. For other people, it's also dancing. For other people, it's weightlifting. There's a million different Orange Theory. Like there's just so many different workouts that exist today that you can choose from. So if you find yourself not as motivated to go to the gym or go into your workout routine, consider that maybe that's not your style and you want to switch it and try something new. But keep trying and keep trying until you find your style, your workout. Just because Sally is telling you, let's go for a run, or Sally is telling you she lost 30 pounds running 50 miles. Now you want to start being a runner and you hate running like me. Don't do it. Consider something else, because chances are you're going to probably drop out pretty quickly because it's not your jam. So, that's what I would also say. There's just different strokes for different folks, you know? So consider doing something new. So, for your New Year's resolution, guys, give yourself goals, ultimate goals that you would love to accomplish, but how you get there is the trick. And make sure to write down in your goals how you can get there so that you're not setting yourself up for failure. And how you get there is by baby steps, and each baby step will try you and show you what qualities or attributes are lacking or strong. And then you keep on going and you keep on going and you keep on going and growing until you finally accomplish it. I love instant gratification for all the reasons, but real satisfaction, real fulfillment, long-term fulfillment for many of my desires and wishes is a long-term play. And so I have to be okay with waiting for the reward. And I think that's another thing that might also set us back, is that we don't start seeing the results right away. We get unmotivated and we just drop and we stop and we think it's not working. But stay the course, because even if it's not massive, even if it's a little bit of progress, every little bit of progress leads to a big outcome. And you can look this up on all the successful people that you admire. They'll tell you the same thing. They all started off with little wins, even big losses, little wins, big win, losses, until they made it really big. And so hang in there. You can do this. 2025 is going to be better than any year you've had so far. And I believe that you can do it. So Happy New Year.